Welcome, everyone. It is Friday night, Just a Bit Outside radio show live on these interwebs. We're live on YouTube. Once again, we'll get back on Facebook soon. We promise that. Yeah, Just a Bit Outside radio show. Like the page. Since you're having to watch us on YouTube, go to the page there. Like the page and follow. Click that bell icon, and so you can get notifications when we go live, just like you do on Facebook if you follow us there. But as always, you got Mark, you got Keisha. Keisha, how's it going?
Hey, what's going on, outsiders? Happy Friday. Like Mark said, we got JABO tonight under the Friday night lights, baby. Got a lot going on this evening. First game of the World Series. But honestly, tonight is about the NBA. So let's get it cracking. First things first, let's go ahead and get this World Series Game 1 out of the way. So, we got the two most unusual suspects in the World Series tonight. We got the Texas Rangers hosting the Diamondbacks. And when I say unusual suspects, at the beginning of the season, the Texas Rangers was 50-1 to go to the World Series, and the Arizona Diamondbacks were 125-1. So if you had the foresight to pick either one of these teams, you're probably really happy right now.
You know, there's what, 28, 30 teams in MLB? I think
it's 30, yeah.
I think at the beginning of every season, I'm just going to put $1 on every team.
I mean, it makes sense, dog. It makes sense, or at least put $1 or $2 on a few long shots, man, because, I mean, it don't hurt.
Yeah.
It don't hurt. And, you know, in the case of this evening, you know, it paid off. It really does pay off.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
So let's go ahead and talk about this matchup. So tonight, like I said, the Rangers are at home for Game 1. We have Zach Gallen.
Oh, where'd you go, Keisha?
Huh?
There we go.
Hello? You here? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry about that, guys. As I was saying, we got Zach Gallen for the Diamondbacks and Yovaldi for the Texas Rangers. Mark, first things first, who do you think is going to take Game 1? I mean, I feel like I can say, much to the shock of us both, that the Diamondbacks are even here. And the way that they won was, you know, I got to say, it was something spectacular, man.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I've mentioned it a couple times in the postseason here, but like the Diamondbacks are a crew that we've talked about in the past, like putting something together, and you know they'll get there eventually. Did not expect it this year at all. Hats off to them for getting this far. It's amazing. As for tonight, you know, I was just looking at the odds. It's pretty close. Texans are favored. I didn't see a spread, but on the money line, they're only like 160, which
correct.
It's pretty even.
Correct.
So
correct. We're just gonna focus on the money line tonight. We're not gonna do the run line. But let me ask you this, Mark. You know, when it comes to the Diamondbacks, there's been a lot of talk about these young players on the squad.
yeah,
Okay? Now, we know, you know, here in the 410 with the Orioles, we had a team of young bloods who, you know, all season really rose to the challenge. But we have also seen, speaking of the Orioles, that could be a major factor in the postseason. I want to ask you, in this series, which is basically, you know, I will say this is a young, inexperienced team versus a very experienced team. How much do you think age and experience will be a factor in this series?
Okay. I'm going to have like the most 50-50 answer possible.
Go for it.
It will be a factor, absolutely, and it will not be a factor. It will be a factor in the fact that they are young.
Yeah.
There's a lot of guys on there that you know are inexperienced in the major leagues. I was going through their roster like last week, and there's like some guys that were just called up last year, some this year. But it won't be a factor in that the Rangers are kind of in the same situation. I think that's why they're so even on the odds and in the eyes of a lot of people, that these situations that the Diamondbacks are looking at, the Rangers are also coming from.
Now, when we talk about the age and everything like that, the infield and the outfield is where a lot of the youth lies, right? Okay, so with the Texas Rangers, we got Jordan Montgomery, who's established. You got Uvalde, who's established. And if you go on to the other side of the ball, Zach Galen's been around. Merrill Kelly's been around. So I think where you need to have the experience, like when it really counts, is in pitching. When it comes to the infield and the outfield and the ones who are actually scoring the runs, there's a lot of youth there. But I have been really impressed with the Diamondbacks 23andMe club, because it seems like all of them are like 23 years old. Really stepping up and rising to the challenge. And I'm really interested to see how they fare against some veteran pitchers in this series.
Yeah. What really strikes me too is, like, while the young guys are definitely like being talked about a lot, what's his name? Corbin Carroll.
Yeah.
Like, he's been, like, all season long, he's been the talk of the league.
Yes, especially late in the season.
But they also have a really cool balance of veteran leadership. I mean, probably their biggest superstar, maybe, Ketel Marte. He's been making name, like, all year long, making waves. Evan Longoria, like, he's got World Series experience.
Can't forget him.
Way back to the
pain
Rays,
in the ass. Yeah. Not just that. I mean, like, didn't he have a little stint with Tampa Bay too?
Yeah. That's where he got the World Series experience.
Yeah, I would say I remember him causing me a few tears in previous seasons. So, I totally feel you on that. So let's go ahead and pick a winner for tonight.
I forget the little nickname that they have for the Diamondbacks, the comebacks. And it seems like the Rangers like to go up quick. So I think we'll see that formula stick, and the Rangers will probably take this one at home.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one, man. And we're gonna go ahead and make that the first easy money pick of the night. One of the interesting aspects of this game is that we have one team that loves to steal. It's like one of the best in the major leagues in the Arizona Diamondbacks, and then we have another team who love the long ball. Okay, and I'm expecting Adolis Garcia to continue his hot streak. I mean, you could almost say that he was a big part of them winning that series against the Houston Astros. And, Zach Gallen, he's been okay, but he has not been great. I was actually kind of surprised that they put him on the bump for Game 1, especially since, in the postseason. Let me make that perfectly clear. In the postseason, Zach Gallen has a 2-2 record with an ERA of 5.24. Okay, the Texas Rangers made a sensible choice. I mean, Uvalde has been fantastic this year. I mean, I almost want to say like his career has been resurrected, because he was decent, but he didn't have the same performance as this when he spent his time in Boston with the Red Sox.
Yeah.
So ultimately, I feel like, and this has a lot to do with it, that this the pitching choice of Gallen tonight. I don't know how that is going to fare. And another thing about it, Mark, Diamondbacks like to play what do they call it? Bullpen ball.
Yeah, they do.
And with the selection tonight, I have to think that's going to be the angle of baseball this evening for the Arizona Diamondbacks, which to me, and I think you would agree, is very unconventional.
Yeah, I remember them talking a lot about that during Game 7 too.
Yes. So you guys, I mean, the game starts at I think like 8:05. It's on Fox.
Yeah.
You can go ahead if you still got a little bit of time. Go ahead and put for the easy money pick. Go ahead and take them Texas Rangers and lay that money on there.
Definitely.
All right. And we'll be talking more about the World Series this week, man, because we'll be in the thick of it.
Oh yeah.
So let's go ahead and get to it, man. The NBA season has started. We have had drama in the off season. We've had drama leading up to, and now we are here. The game started Tuesday, and we've got a small sample set. We got a few games underneath the belt per se. So let's talk about a few of the teams, some things that are making headlines this first week in the NBA. First things first, let's go ahead and get it out the way. My beloved Lakers. Lord. We, let me not say we, they have been the talk of the town. I mean, this is season in and season out, right? Right, yeah. Mark? It's been the talk of the town for the past 2 days. We are in the era of Commissioner Adam Silver pretty much putting a kill to load management. Everybody's got to play. You've got to have at least one star on the court every game, which, I applaud. I applaud and appreciate it because I have the same sentiments as Charles Barkley. Dude, you're getting $30-40 million a season. Get your ass out there to play if you can play.
Yeah. Definitely.
Okay? Yeah. So, in the case of LeBron James, we've watched 2 games, right? And we all know that the thing with LeBron James this year, who's in his 21st season, minutes management. Okay? It's been said, and they have held true with it. I mean, they went a little bit outside of it last night, but they plan to limit his playing time to, I believe it was 28 to 30 minutes, which is a decision made by Coach Darvin Ham and the Lakers organization. It is a small sample set. It's only been 2 games, but the data right now is very eye-opening, Mark. The Lakers are clearly a better team with LeBron James on the floor. Now, I got to ask you, man, I mean, how the hell is that going to work this season, when he's only playing a little bit more than half a game?
That's a question I don't have an answer for. That's something that these coaches are going to have to adjust to with this probably a modified load management as they try to adjust to that. Yeah, I mean, LeBron, don't get me wrong, he's great. He still played great last year. But his minutes overall for the entire season go down every year, and there's a reason for that.
Yeah.
So I think the Lakers need to get used to winning without him on the court as much.
Okay, that's perfect that you just said that. Here's my thing, okay? So if LeBron is going to be on this limited minutes, lack of a better word, regime, or whatever, my personal opinion, the Lakers do not have a squad that is built for limited involvement of LeBron James.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, Anthony Davis, he's been getting a lot of shit, and some of it is very warranted. But here's my feelings on this. Okay, Mark, especially in this day and age in the NBA, you need at least a big three to be successful.
Oh, yeah.
Okay? You need a big three to be successful. All right? So, now here we are with the Lakers. We're talking Anthony Davis is the face of the team, blah, 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 blah. Who else other than Anthony Davis and LeBron James would you say is that third big piece? You don't have it. Okay? And I can't even say you have a big two. You can't say that you have a big two if one of the big two is playing half the game. You know, I just don't feel that the Los Angeles Lakers are going to be built for success this season. I mean, you gave Austin Rivers $40 million. I have a problem with that. Because I feel like with that $40 million, you could have broke that down and tried to get two bigger role players. And in Anthony Davis' defense, he can't do it by himself. I mean, it's very clear that he cannot carry the team when LeBron James is on that bench, man.
For AD, I mean, I wonder, because there's a lot of games last year that he took up that slack for LeBron. And
Yeah.
I don't know if it's just a slow start for this season. I mean, we had, 7-8 preseason games and 2 games into the season, so maybe he's just got to get to that season shape or something. I don't know. But, I mean, in the past, AD has come through for them.
Yes.
Came
through last night.
Yeah.
Yes, he did.
You just got to see what happens. If LeBron's on fire, I really question if they're going to stick to that half game minutes kind of thing.
I don't think they will. They can't afford to.
Yeah.
I mean, isn't that the conundrum? What is more important? Preserving LeBron James, limiting the minutes, or winning games?
And I kind of had a thought just a couple seconds ago. The commissioner can lay down the law as far as load management and everything, but I really wonder how connected the NBA front office is to the medical staff on each team. Because as far as I know, they just have to report to the front office, who's available.
And they can say whatever the hell they want, right?
Yeah. Oh, LeBron got a jammed finger. He's going to be out for 2 days.
Exactly.
There's your load management right there.
Right. Exactly. So, yeah, man. I mean, there's a lot of questions up in the air, and like Mark said, it really is kind of too early to make. It's too early for the assumptions. Yeah, I would probably say I'd need at least 2 weeks of basketball before I can really comment on the state of this whole thing with limited LeBron James.
Oh, definitely.
That might be his new name, limited LeBron James this season.
Harry says they need a true point guard. I expect D'Angelo Russell to get traded.
Holla.
Now, sorry. You brought up a good point. It's for the Lakers, it's 2 games in. For most teams, it's only 1 game in. Let's get a couple weeks under the season to really feel things out, right?
Yeah.
Today I saw an article, or maybe
God.
Yeah, it was today because they played last night.
Oh,
saying
God.
the Lakers need this, and they're already proposing some superstar trade. I'm like, okay, we're 2 games into the season for them. Another team, the Bulls, had a players-only meeting.
Oh my! I'm so glad you brought this up. Okay, go ahead.
Only 1 game into the season.
Yeah.
Guys, the NBA has always been like this, but it's just amplified for some reason.
Stop it. I mean, absolutely stop it. And the Chicago Bulls are playing the Toronto Raptors tonight. I'm actually expecting the Chicago Bulls to win that game. The thing with the Chicago Bulls is that they built a team around what they thought they were going to have with Lonzo Ball. And, after, Jesus, what are we in, in the second year of this injury with him? It's just not happening. So I feel like they're in a position where, they really need to take a step back and try to recalibrate. Okay, and I don't know what that is going to look like, but some people were saying at the end of last season, you might want to break up this whole Zach LaVine, DeMar Rosen hookup.
Really?
And maybe just try to rebuild with one of the two. Me personally, I would go with Zach LaVine, but I digress. But I totally feel you on that. Stop it. Yeah. Okay, like even if they do lose tonight, I don't want to hear about no damn players only meeting tomorrow. I really don't. I don't. And I'm quite surprised that that's even a buzz right now with that. I mean, to me, it's just absolutely ridiculous.
Right?
Absolutely ridiculous. But I'm going to tell you what's not ridiculous. Them damn Milwaukee Bucks. And so, we all know the big blockbuster move of the offseason was Dame Dollar leaving Portland, leaving his home, leaving all that he knows to join up forces with Giannis and the Milwaukee Bucks. They had their first game last night against the Philadelphia Sixers. It was a good game. Good game. Dame Dollar went off.
Yeah.
And I have to tell you, Mark, I was actually surprised. I don't know why the hell I was thinking this. Clearly, I was outside of my mind, but I actually thought that it would take him, maybe a week or two to just, get acclimated and, get the chemistry together. But it seems like the chemistry is there. I mean, you're sitting on a team with Giannis, who is arguably one of the best players in the NBA, and you went out there on the court first game with a brand new team, and you went in the driver's seat. You jumped in the driver's seat. You said, "Give me the keys." And how surprised were you about Dame's performance like that? I think, what did he have, like 30-some points, man? Like, I don't know, maybe 34, 35 points?
39 points.
39 points. There we
rebounds. Go. Yeah. Giannis had 13 rebounds, 23 points.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't catch the game. I caught a couple replays on SportsCenter and just looked at the final online. But it seems like TNT, of course, they're in the business of ratings. They want to get people watching. They know Dame's a name that people are going to tune in for, and they've been promoting the hell out of him leading up to that game.
Yeah.
And good for Dame. Like, he spent so much time in Portland.
He deserves it.
Yeah. And like I said, I just caught the highlights, but what I saw, man, he keeps that up, Bucks are going to be back at it.
That was my next question, so I don't need to ask you, man. I totally agree with you. Granted, the Philadelphia 76ers, to me, they may look like they're okay right now, but they're spiraling out of control, which will bring me to my next topic. What the hell is going on with the Philadelphia 76ers? Now, we know James Harden comes with some antics. He is. It seems like he is one that is never really satisfied.
Yeah.
But there's something going on with that front office with the Philadelphia 76ers. Okay? We're hearing some beginnings of grumblings of, what should Joel Embiid do? Should he stick with the 76ers? And Joel Embiid has been pretty tight-lipped over the past couple of weeks especially the past week, about everything with James Harden and the front office and whatnot. Do you think he's happy, and do you think there's a possibility that he may request to leave 76ers at the end of the season? Because, to me, it would take a freaking miracle for them to get to the Eastern Conference Finals this year.
I thought he did request a trade like 37 times this summer.
Oh, okay. Well, hell, there you go. I mean, I knew that he was unhappy, but I really didn't hear about him requesting a trade.
I can't say he requested a trade. I know there's like times that he said, "I'm not going to play for that owner," and had some choice words for that owner.
Exactly.
And to be honest, like Harden's been at this for so long. I didn't pay full attention to whatever the hell was going on because it's just James Harden being James Harden.
Yeah.
Harry makes an amazing point too, because I was reading up on the trade possibility last night. James Harden is going to end up forcing his way out of the league. Clippers were the only team willing to take a chance, but with Brody playing well and him not showing up for the team, he's done. And I saw like the Clippers broke off talks. They were the only team really interested in trading for him. Harden, hell of a talent, hell of a player. Where does he go from here?
Yeah. There's people say that, right? But we have players out there with the likes of Kyrie Irving that has been just as horrible and are still playing and still appreciated and making a name for themselves in the NBA. So, when seasons get started and teams start losing, all that shit goes out the window. Let's be honest.
Brooklyn was kind of like the Raiders of the NBA. They would take anyone, but he's already been with the Nets.
Yeah, so, he's already fucked that up. But I mean, there are some teams. I mean, there's a team that I'm looking at like right now on the TV. The Detroit Pistons, who have a hella young squad, could probably use a little veteran leadership.
Yeah.
There'll always be someone who is in need of the talents of James Harden, because I mean we saw in the finals last season that he had flashes of greatness. I mean that one game when Joel Embiid was out. I mean he like went off and was like vintage James Harden.
Yeah.
So I mean that value is still there. I just honestly, like I said, I mean there are people out there that have done so much worse, like I said, like Kyrie Irving, he still has a job. So, I just really find it, at this point right now, I find it hard to swallow that he's going to be on his way out. Now, we do know that, there's an investigation going down because James Harden went MIA for like the whole week before the first game, and then he showed up, I think, like the day before the game.
Yeah.
Like, dude, okay, I'm ready to go. And they were like, hell nah, you go ahead and stay in Philly, eat a cheesesteak, and we'll talk to you later. So, I think his fate, the direction of his fate, is determined by the outcome of this investigation. It certainly seems like the Philadelphia 76ers are done with him, though. I mean, do you get that feeling?
Oh, definitely. That's a team investigation, right? Not an NBA, not a league.
Correct.
So the team could just say, "Yeah, we're just not going to use you or whatever." But at the end of the day, they did make an investment in him. They want to get a return somewhat.
Yeah.
And like you were saying, there's always going to be a team that'll gamble. I would even argue he hasn't burned as many bridges as we may be thinking, simply because at the end, at the very tip top, there's an owner that's going to want some money, and he has a name. He'll bring asses in the seats. And, that's what it is at the end of the day.
Yeah, I'm about to say, we can't forget about that bottom line, them ticket sales, right?
Yep.
Hell yeah. So, that'll definitely be something that everybody will be keeping their eyes on with the weeks to come, because that, honestly, right now, outside of Dame Dollar going off, I mean, it's like the biggest story of the NBA.
Yeah.
It really is. And, man, I feel bad for, the fans and the people of Philly, because you came so close last season and your expectations had to have been high for this season. And I just think that they're just headed for disaster.
Oh, yeah.
I really do. I really do. And, Doc Rivers is on the sideline right now with ESPN commentating with Doris Burke, and I know that he's happy as hell that he got the hell up out of there.
Oh,
and
absolutely.
more power to him as well. Let's move on to another team. Let's talk about Phoenix Suns.
Okay.
We've seen a little bit with them. They kind of got a new look. I mean, we haven't really been able to see the new look Suns because Bradley Beal has been out. I think he's dealing with, what is it, like a back injury or something like that?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah. And, we saw the Lakers play the Phoenix Suns last night, and we bring it back to the same topic, how valuable a big three is, because Kevin Durant down the stretch was not able to get that done. I fully believe once Bradley Beal gets on the court and they have all three together, they definitely will be a force to be reckoned with. But to start the season off with an injury, and Bradley Beal's got some miles on him too. You're kind of holding your breath, crossing your fingers that he remains healthy throughout the season, because if he's not, I don't see them doing too much.
Oh, yeah.
They picked up Nurkic from the Portland trade, where they sent DeAndre Ayton out there. I watched them last night. I thought that was a very good pickup for them, but ultimately they need another scorer. So it's going to be really important that Bradley Beal stays healthy, this season. And Mark, now that I'm thinking about the Phoenix Suns, let me ask you a question.
Okay.
How the hell did Frank Vogel get another job?
He's got dirty pictures of someone somewhere.
He's got to. And, to get rid of a coach with the caliber of Monty Williams, who was, coach of the year, like 2 years ago?
Yeah.
To go to Frank Vogel, I'm kind of side-eyeing that whole thing. I'm not really sure how that is going to work out. I mean, Frank Vogel's with the Lakers. He had an opportunity with, a handful of, A-listers, B-listers, and he didn't do well there. I'm really interested to see how that's going to work out with the Phoenix Suns, because I really do. I feel like they made a mistake with letting Monty go.
Well, remember, Frank, isn't he the one that was coaching the Lakers in the pandemic championship?
Yeah.
Where I really remember during the trophy presentation, like the players were insisting like Frank was the coach. And it's kind of bad when that happens. They're like, Frank, it was all his thing. He didn't just have a hand in it. It was his. When the players are saying shit like that, like, you knew LeBron was running that team no matter what.
Right, I was about to say, but then what happened the very next season? What happened? He was out the door.
Yep.
In a jiffy. So, and a move that if I think back, we were kind of surprised at. Especially with the success that he had the previous season. So, I almost feel like, he really did not, do well managing high caliber stars. I mean, when you're dealing with the GM, to me, I feel like it's hard for any coach.
The GM.
Yeah, man. So, but back to the Phoenix Suns. They took a L. And I believe they're 0-2 because they lost their first game, right?
Nope, they won that first game.
They won the first game. Okay, all right, they won and won.
Yep.
Okay. So, we'll be on the lookout to see, what things are looking like, once Bradley Beal joins the squad. All right, let's move up. Let's move on to another matchup that I'm interested in, or another team that I'm interested in talking about, and that's the Boston Celtics, man. I think one of the best power moves outside of Dame coming to Milwaukee was the addition of Kristaps Porzingis. And Lord have mercy. It seems like every time somebody leaves the Wizards, they just get better. And, first game out, Porzingis, my man put up 30 points. You would have thought he had been there all along. How impressed are you with the first game? I mean, it's been one game, small sample set, but how are you impressed with that addition to that squad?
I mean, the Celtics, I kind of did question it, like you said. It seems like when they leave the Wizards, they get better. And with Porzingis, I didn't just assume he'd get better. Maybe he had seen better days, but the Celtics, they had the best record in, if not the conference, in the league last year. They were going to be a strong team no matter what, and adding him, man, I feel kind of bad for the Celtics coach because it's got to be a finals or bust this year.
Absolutely, especially after the game that they played against New York. I mean, they are at home right now playing against the Miami Heat. They taking an ass whipping right now. I mean, it's only halfway through the first quarter, but the score is 24-13, man. And I really do think that it's a good addition to complement Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. I really felt like they could use, a legit big man because, Al Horford, who was the other guy? Williams guy. They weren't cutting it, and it seems like, this may be the answer. So yeah, expectations are going to be hella high, and I would have to agree, championship or bust. Totally agree with that, man.
Yeah,
totally agree.
Harry says Celtics are going to be the team to beat. They're the most loaded team in the NBA, especially since they got Jrue Holiday. And the Heat, they went to the finals last year, and I think it's an interesting match so early in the season. Tonight, Heat and Celtics, that could be the conference final at the end of the year.
Yeah, well, it seems like the theme for tonight is conference final rematches, man, because you also got the Sacramento Kings playing against the Golden State Warriors, which I think is going to be the best game of the evening.
I forgot the Kings even made it to the conference final.
Yeah.
That's how surprising they were.
Yeah. So, it's definitely going to be interesting. Is there any other teams that you wanted to talk about, or early on anything that you heard that you found interesting that you want to discuss tonight?
Nothing yet. I think we hit all the teams that I've kind of been eyeing. I do think Dallas is going to be interesting to watch.
Oh my God! Yeah, it's either going to be a
fireworks or a shit show.
Yeah, thank you. I was looking for the appropriate words to say. That's perfect. Perfect. They played their first game against Wemby and the San Antonio Spurs. I mean, they came out with the W. But, I mean, the San Antonio Spurs, that's another team that's, got a lot of young bloods on there, a lot of inexperience. So that was to be expected. But as far as the combo of Luka and Kyrie Irving, we'll be able to definitely see that this season, right? Because, last season he came in at the end of the season. They didn't really play a whole lot together. There was a whole lot of bullshit going on with that team towards the end of the season. So it'll be exciting to see how they get off to their start, not only in the Western Conference but in that division as well.
Yep.
Hell yeah. Really quickly before we sign off, we got to talk about them Ravens. All right, so the flop, they got on the planes. They're going out west. Arizona's going to have a lot of fun this weekend. A lot of fun or a lot of heartache. They're taking on the Arizona Cardinals. We all know that, the Cardinals quarterback Kyler Murray has not been playing. He has actually been taken off of the injury list. I believe that he was good to go all this week. He will not. I don't believe he's starting on Sunday, but you got to think that Cardinals are waiting for him to come back, right? I mean, it's just been really rough to be an Arizona Cardinal fan last season, and also going into this season. Do I need to ask you? Do you really think the Ravens are going to lose this game on Sunday?
Hey, let's not get too cocky because we had one blowout win so far this season.
It's so funny. Like, we beat the Lions. All of a sudden, we are talking about who's the best quarterback in the league. If Lamar Jackson is better than Patrick Mahomes, it's so ridiculous. But I'm not sure. Let's check and see what this line is on the Ravens. Let's go ahead and get it.
I got the line. You ready?
Oh, what is it?
9.5. 9.5.
Damn near. I'd stay the hell away from that game.
And now, we saw that the Cardinals actually beat their one victory of the year so far was an ass kicking of the Cowboys, which is always wonderful.
Yeah, that's why I said I'd stay the hell away from this.
Wasn't Murray out for that game also? I thought he was.
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna outright say it's a trap game, but it feels like it really could be.
Yeah. I'd take them up to about -7. I'd take 7 points. But anything over that, man, I don't know. It's always tough for an East Coast team to go out west and get on their time zone and all of that. A hubbubaloo, you know what I mean? But 9.5, that's a whole lot of points, man.
Yeah.
A whole lot of points. So, outsiders, what I'm going to tell you for the easy money pick with the Ravens, chop that joint down to about 7 so you can be comfortable and enjoy the game.
John Harbaugh doing John Harbaugh things. What was that score at halftime of the Ravens Lions?
Oh shit, man! What was it like? It was like something to.
I thought it was 28-0.
I'm about to say it was either no points or 3 points. Yeah.
And didn't it finish 35-6?
Yeah.
So second half we don't score points, and that's a problem. If they do that again,
was a problem last season too. I definitely remember serious heartbreak with that Miami game, which was probably the worst of the worst.
Yeah. Harry says Harbaugh can pull a Harbaugh anytime and screw this thing up. I expect Hollywood Brown to go off and get at least 110 yards and a TD.
Oh my god!
Yep.
Oh my god! Oh my goodness!
So there has been a lot of talk. Trade deadline coming up Tuesday. Harry asks, do you think the Ravens should get Derrick Henry or Dalvin Cook?
Go for either. I mean, it just became known within the last 2 days, right, that Dalvin Cook wants to get the hell out of the New York Jets. They don't appreciate how they've been using him, and he feel like he's wasting his time. Yeah. I think that more has to do with Aaron Rodgers not being there, but, what do I know? But, we talked about Derrick Henry last week, but I would certainly be open to Dalvin Cook as well. We got the trade deadline in a couple of days, and I feel like, Mark, we should go ahead and air the day of the deadline.
Okay.
Because I feel like it's going to be some crazy shit going down, man. It's going to be some crazy shit going down.
Definitely.
I definitely feel like both running backs will be on the move, and whoever is so lucky to get those jackpots, they'll automatically, be a fantastic addition to any squad. I really, really hope that the Ravens make a push, man, try to put something together. I don't know what that would look like. I mean, we talked last week about, who they could use as bargaining chips and whatnot, but, I hope at the very least, we might not be successful but I would really like to see them make a real serious hellified push for either one of those running backs.
So, Derrick Henry, Ravens and Titans have a very testy past, and he's been a big part of some of those games. Do you see him wanting to become a Raven?
Shit, man. A lot of times they take that mentality. If you can't beat them, join them. And you ain't beating them this year. I don't even think Ryan Tannehill's playing on Sunday.
Yeah, I don't think so. A lot of the NFL insiders, they said that the Ravens were in the lead for Derrick Henry and fully expected him to go. And then, in the last day or so, I don't know if you saw this, but apparently Stephon Diggs has been pushing for the Bills to trade for him. So it looks like there might be some competition for the services of Mr. Henry.
I mean, and Jesus, the Ravens playing the Lions couldn't come at a better time, because right now there's probably a lot of players that are like, who wouldn't want to play with Lamar Jackson?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. But the Bills have been...
As far as, it's football season, so we're going to go booty huff. First booty huff of the season, man. Buffalo Bills, man. I don't know what the hell's going on out there, but I have been seriously underwhelmed with their performance this season.
Oh yeah, the last few years they'd be like KC and put up huge points, and then they're trash.
Yeah, I really don't know what's going on with them, because I feel like not too much has changed with that squad.
Yeah, they need some help.
Yeah, they definitely do, and I don't know if they're gonna be willing to give up Diggs, unless he's just like, man, you got to get me the hell out of here.
No, he doesn't want to leave. He wants to play with Henry. He's pushing the team to bring Henry in.
Get Henry. Oh, okay,
Yeah.
Okay, all right, that makes sense. I thought you meant he wanted to leave. I'm about to go like, what the hell?
Oh no, he's going to front office, be like, Derrick Henry, come on, get it done.
Yo, and now that you say that, that would be one hellified move because they definitely need some help on offense, and that would be a great boost for the Buffalo Bills.
And it'd probably free up Diggs, because he's whoever the defense is looking at whenever whenever he's out on the field, and now you got that threat with Henry in the backfield. Damn, that'd be crazy.
That would be definitely a good look. That would definitely be a good look for Buffalo.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. All right, man. Well, listen, we got this World Series starting up and everything. We got any real old wrestling tonight?
Nothing I can think of right now. Since the World Series is on Fox, SmackDown is on FS1 tonight. If anyone's inclined to tune in.
Okay, cool. All right. Well, what we're gonna do is, like I said, we're gonna come back at you guys next week, the day of the trade deadline. What is that? Tuesday,
Halloween.
Okay. Oh Lord. So all the freaky is gonna be going down. Love it. I love it. All right. So you guys just be looking out for us on Tuesday. We thank you for tuning in tonight. You know how we end this show. Baltimore, spread that love, yo. Need the love here in the 410. Wash your hands, wash your ass, stay clean, all of that. Let's keep them germs down. I'm Keisha, and on the other end of the line is my favorite slice of pizza, Mark. And we are just a bit outside.